last year I was at the H-Art show and I met a lovely lady, and she saw the walnut, various walnut pieces I had, chopping boards and tables and whatnot. Anyway, she said she had this walnut tree which had already fallen over in the garden. She thought it was in quite good condition. Been down a few years, and I went to see it. It looked pretty good, but I got to be honest, where it was, it did look like a bit of a pain trying to get a sawmill on it, chainsaw mill. So I spoke to her and her son, and they had some contractors coming in at some point, and they would be able to lift it up. So I've just hired a trailer, 18-foot trailer, and I've just been over there. It's in Hereford, so that's a 18 miles drive, and then about another 5 miles to the woodyard. So I'm heading over to my favourite woodyard, and they're going to chop it up for me, plank it, and see. One of those things, really, sort of fingers crossed if it's any good. So far it's cost me, as long as the wood's any good, so far it's cost me a small coffee table for the family who gave me the tree, which they'll get, depending on my drying times, they'll get in a year. If I get my kiln sorted, might be a little bit longer if it's just air dried, to see how it goes, and then pay for the sawmill. I'm not sure exactly what that is, I've got a rough idea. But yeah, quite exciting. It's quite good collecting wood from gardens and stuff, sort of not really urban because we're in the countryside here, but it's that kind of thing. It's not forestry, low carbon footprint, so it really fits with what I'm trying to do anyway. So I'll bring you up to date when I get to the sawmill. Lovely. In my favourite place. That's the beast that's going to cut it up, hopefully, if I can find someone. About 55. Okay, so I'm back with sound now. This is my new iPhone. The other one died. I think I used it too much on video and YouTube. Not sure. But anyway, this is some of the amazing grain. You can see it even better now. It's sort of drying out a bit. Really wonderful. The walnut. And then, so that lot there come from sort of the crutch at the top of the tree there. And then that was the main planks. What did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really nice planks there. That's the old other walnut tree that I got, which I purchased. So I've got to get this lot up there and stacked. I actually did my back in a bit moving that. I'm not sure. A bit cold in the morning. So that's some chestnut. I don't know if I've shown you all of that. I bought a load of chestnut slabs. They're really, really nice. I'm just going to keep those as big slab tables. I'm working on well, I'm pretty excited about it, a router sled project, which is going to be for the flattening nose. That's for the next bed, which is going to be an oak bed. You'll be seeing that coming shortly. That's probably the next YouTube project. And then these were a bit of a bonus. So Woodyard had a leak underground and they needed to move some old pallets, and this is English elm. I mean, that looks pretty distressed, but as you know, I do like working with resin, and this is going to be fantastic when it's been cleaned up. There is some woodworm, so I'm going to spray this one because it's a bit big, but all of these as well. Look at this lot. This is all English elm, and what I've done, I've jet washed it. You can see where I've cut in a bit there. I've just jet washed it to get, this was basically buried, so you can see it's got moss and all sorts on it. So I've left it out here to dry off after the heavy jet wash. I'm not going to remove too much of this yet, and what I'm going to do, this definitely has active woodworm, and in fact we saw some woodworm when we were digging it out. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to stick it into my little kiln, and I'm actually going to bake it at about 100 for about 4 or 5 days. Now that would normally lead to case hardening, but this stuff has been cut down for years and years, so it's pretty much dry, and I'm going to slowly ramp up the temperature. There's not going to be any resawing of this, so I shouldn't get any kind of stress when I'm doing anything with it. All I will do is put this through the plane before I do my resin pours. These are all going to be for resin tables of some sort or the other. So I'm going to get this lot into the drying chamber, and the next stage will be leaving it in there for a week or so at real high temperature, kill off any infestations that's in there, and let's see after that how solid it is. It seems to be solid enough now already. It's just been left in the mud. Probably going to be really characterful, and this was an absolute bargain, to be honest. This lot, they sort of almost gave it to me because it was firewood, they said, and I don't think it's going to be firewood. I think us people who like using resin, we're looking for these holes and defects and all this cracking. So for the resin pour is perfect. For the anti-resin brigade who'd say they don't like resin, fair enough, but there isn't much you could do with that other than try and cut a section out the middle. But with resin, if you like that sort of thing, it's going to really highlight all these wormholes and features and live edge. If you want to stick around at the end of the video, the microphone broke on my old iPhone, so there's no audio, I'm afraid. So I've just put some music, and you can have a quick look at the walnut slabs as I unload them if you want to see the grain and stuff. Still wet, so you can really get a good look at that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I've got loads of new Patreons this week, which I'm really pleased about. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to keep some interesting builds on the Patreon site, and as always, much more in depth. The bed build, which is now appearing on YouTube, I think that's in 4 parts and nearly an hour and a half. At least an hour and a half on the Patreon site if you really want to see what goes on, every kind of nook and every nut and bolt about how things are built. But thanks to all my subscribers as always, really appreciate it. See you on the next one.